Morning, Eli. Just going to give it a couple minutes here, Eli. Let everybody join up.
Hey.
Morning, Emma. How are you?
I'm okay. I've had Rex help me a lot.
Okay. That's all good. Has Rex been doing his own? It won't let you send it to me?
Yeah. I think it's just my Wi-Fi's off, but I'll get it into you. It just won't send.
That's okay. You just do what you got to do, and if it works, great. I just put a note on Edmodo. If you can, there's an app in which you can put a PDF. Change it to a PDF would be really helpful. Okay, so
Okay.
and then I think it's easier to send it rather than sending me pictures via email. There's an app that'll change a picture to a PDF, and then it's easier to send. So if you could try that, that would be ideal. But whatever works. Speaking of Rex, has he been doing any homework himself?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. You need to tell him he needs to. Okay. Well, he needs to get in contact with me sooner than later, so he gets the credits. He has 2 courses he needs credits in.
Doing it this morning, but then he had to go out.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go through slope. Okay. So if you want to put your microphones on mute, and if you have questions, just unmute them. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to work with slope today. So in graphing terms, slope is a comparison of how fast a graph moves up, and a graph I'm talking about a line over a run. What I do is I take a coordinate and I make it x2, y2, and then I make another coordinate x1, y1, and then I use the following to calculate what my slope is. All right, if you're looking on page 30, they show you different types of slopes. Okay, the first slope so a positive slope goes from left to right and down to up. That's a positive slope. A negative slope goes from top left down to the right. So this is a negative slope.
Yes.
This is a positive slope. And then there's 2 special slopes that we look at. One in which doesn't go up or down. It's a horizontal line. And this slope is equal to 0 because the rise is 0, but it can go left or right. And then this last one is what we refer to as an undefined slope, because it would look something like this, 1 over 0. Because it doesn't go left or right, it only goes up or down. So then my slope for this line, we refer to it as undefined. So they show you all 4 of those at the top of page 130. Okay? So to get into this, again, the easiest way for me to do this is if I'm given coordinates, I make one x1, y1, and I make one x2, y2, and then I play around with the coordinates and I use my slope equation. So I'm looking at page 131. There's an example there. It says a is negative 4, 1. B is 1 and 6. Okay, so I'm going to show you two very, very simple ways in which we can complete the slope. The first one is to use my slope equation, in which I use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the second one that I can use is to just plot them and count. That's y1, and I'm going to make this one x2, y2. And then I'm going to use my slope equation. So slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I've intentionally written these out so that you can clearly see where the coordinates match up and where the y's and the x's match up. So y2, that's right here. Well, that's 6. So I go 6. Subtract my y1, that one right here, that is 1. So 6 subtract 1 over x2, which is 1. Subtract negative 4. So 6 subtract 1 is 5. 1 subtract negative 4 is the same as saying 1 plus 4, which is 5 as well, for a slope of 1 over 1. So that means that to go from any coordinate to the next coordinate, I go up 1 and then I go right 1. So when it comes to slope, the top value of the fraction is the up-down value of the fraction. On the bottom, it's the right-left. So if it's positive, it goes up. If the bottom is positive, it goes right. If it's negative, it goes down. If it's negative, it goes left. Okay? Give you a second to copy that down. So using the equation is one way in which we can find the slope of a line. The second way to find the slope of a line is to actually okay, so coordinate A was negative 4 and 1. That's right here. Coordinate B was 1 and 6. That's right here. So what I do then is I count how far to get my slope. I count how far up does it go. So I would count it all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it goes 5 up. And then how far to the right does it go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 over 1. Okay, so you can do whichever method you like. This one takes a little more time because you have to, but if you have to draw your grid, But otherwise, that's also acceptable way of finding your slope of a line. Okay, so let's look at the next one. It has C and D. C is 3 and 5. D is 6 and -3. So I'm going to make one of those coordinates. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to make one of these coordinates x1, y1. The other coordinate is going to be x2, y2. And so my slope between these two coordinates is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus, jeez, what a mess. No, that's right. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So again, notice how I've drawn the coordinates. It's xy, xy. In this case, I've made the d value y2 and x2, and the c value x1 and y1. So my y2 value is -3. Subtract my y1, which is 5, over x2, which is 6. Subtract my x1, which is 3. So we go -8 over 3. So that means to go from one coordinate to the next, I go down 8 and right 3. And that will take me to any coordinate on the line. If I drew a line between 3 and 5 and 6 and -3, I could always go from one coordinate to the next by going down 8 and right 3. They do a good job of showing you this on page 131. They draw the graphs for you. Okay, so you can...
I'm confused with the graphing one. How did you know to go up 5 and go across 3? Like, go across 5 and go...
Okay. All right, let's go back to that again then. All right, so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to describe to somebody how would I go from one point to the next. So I want to go from A to B. That's my goal, right? And my A is at -4 and 1, and my B is at 1 and 6. So think of it as me talking about how do I go from the school to the fire hall. I'd say, okay, I'm going to go 2 blocks to the north towards the hospital, and then I'm going to go right, which is east, and I'm going to go 3 blocks to the east. That's how I would describe it to somebody. So you're trying to describe how do you go from point A to point B. So you got to go up a bit and you got to go right a bit. Okay, in order to do that. So I count it. So I'm at 1 right now, right? And I need to get to 6. So I go up 5 and then I got to go. So that gets me to here. So if I'm at that spot now, I want to now carry on. How do I get from here over to here? You'd say, okay, well, at that point, you would go right 5 as well.
Is it because if you're going from 6 to like back to 0, there's 5 in between? Is that why you have 5?
No, it's because I'm going from 1 to 6 and -4 to 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so I'm basically going up here, and then I'm still at -4 right here. I got to get all the way over to 1 right there. So I go over 5 that way.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sorry.
Okay, it's all good. All good. All right, so 6.5 is all on slope. Now you should have done a little bit of slope work probably in grade 9. I'm thinking some of it, you should have done some of this graphing already. Your assignment did have a couple questions on slope, just because I had it set up already, 6.1 to 6.5. So if you need to go back and fix that up, you can. All right. But other than that, what we're looking at is we'll finish 6.5 today. which takes us to the end of chapter 6. We will work on the review probably for Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll work on the review. And then I'll give you another mini assignment Thursday or Friday just to wrap the week up. Okay? Are there any questions from 6.1 to 6.4 that you would like to look at that you didn't get to ask?
No.
Oh yeah, is it always non-linear if there's a square in the question? That's what Rex said.
Yes. Yes. A linear equation has to have just an x value, no exponents on it. Lily, how are you making out?
Good.
You been able to keep up? Okay. I got your assignment this morning, so that's good. Eli, you gonna send me in your assignment today sometime?
I didn't even do it. I'm on my computer often, or anything else like that.
Okay, say that again, Eli.
Oh. I'm not on the computer or anything else often.
Okay, so how can we get the assignment to you?
I'm really not allowed to be on here right now. But,
Eli, how can I get that assignment to you?
well, I have it now.
Okay. And can you get it back to me at some point?
Okay.
Please? Finished? Okay. So nobody else, none of the three of you have any other questions today? Okay, I'm going to leave this open. Usually there's about 6 or 8 of you on here, so I'm just going to leave this on for a little bit. If you want to work through your 6.5 this morning, and then you can just ask questions, just unmute and ask questions, okay? Okay, so you can go to work for a little while. I'll leave you on here. I mean, you're also welcome to leave if you don't want to stay on here. Okay? Eli, if you want to put yours on mute, please. Eli, mute, please.